focus on missions and accomplishments. Women typically focus on attention, right? So celebrities get more attention. Women want to be that celebrity. And so then they put their emotions in that celebrity because then that's what gives them feelings. So when she's winning, then I'm winning. Whereas men are like, when my team's winning, then I'm winning, right? And so they connect it like video games, where when I win in a video game, then I feel good, right? That's why men are addicted to video games. Women are addicted to social media. Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend, has returned. He went on Joe Rogan's podcast this week and kind of sparking a little bit of or igniting some more conversations on the internet. By the way, guys, this is episode number 50 of the Rift Podcast. We are here every Monday and Friday, and we're talking to you, bringing you the advice, the facts, all the stuff that you may want to hear or you may need to hear. Either way, today we're talking about Elon Musk and how I'm telling you, is like he's the voice of America right now. I feel like at least if you listen to this podcast, which I don't know, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Both you've listened to it, right, Parker?
What, to Joe Rogan?
Yeah, with Joe Rogan.
I saw clips. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, well, in this podcast, you can tell that, and maybe it's like all a ploy. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's just like next level, like chess move guy, where he's just thinking way ahead. But from the podcast, I don't think you can talk for 3 hours and like be faking it, Like a lot of stuff that I see, I think the dude actually genuinely wants humanity to thrive and flourish.
I know. I mean, it's kind of because it's not like he's just saying it. Like he has the money to go do whatever he wants, and he's still. Yeah. So I mean, it's like
exactly.
He's showing his cards that he cares.
Yeah.
Like,
dude. Not only that, he also talked about how he had to build his SpaceX deal in the United States because he had to register as a missile defense company or something like that.
Yeah.
Something where like he could literally blow up other countries right now.
Yeah.
He has the money and ability to blow up countries and they couldn't do anything about it. He literally says that in the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean,
he already contributes to doesn't contribute like negatively or positively, but like how they were saying that he needed to, was it saying they needed Starlink or they wanted him to remove Starlink from some country because they wanted to do something he refused to do, like he wasn't going to help them.
Really?
Like he already has power in wars, like with stuff like that. So I mean, he's up there.
Oh, it's probably North Korea. It was probably like, because the Starlink can reach its satellite internet. So North Korea is very much, obviously, a very communist, very dictatorship that is run by one guy. And so the information that North Korea gets is not the same that we do, right? There is propaganda forever and always will be in North Korea because it goes through Kim Jong-un. And then he either says it goes further or doesn't, right? Like he's the one that gets all the information. All of his people, they get whatever information he believes they should receive. Yeah. And so that's probably would have been, either that or China or something like that.
It was something because they want to do like a missile or a drone strike, and Elon's like, I'm not going to take part in anything like that. So he's like, I'm not doing it. It was our government asking him to do it, and he said no.
Oh, yeah, interesting. He's definitely in. He's a powerful person, and I think, like I said, I think he's the voice of America, right? We have a president, but by God, I don't know if he has a voice. He sure as hell could not go on a podcast for 3 hours.
Yeah, I know. It's like I saw something the other day. They're like, if we were to be invaded by aliens right now, who would you want to represent us? Yeah. I was like, honestly, Elon or Joe Rogan.
Or Rogan. Those two guys.
Which, like, to people who don't listen to Joe Rogan, like people who don't listen to Joe Rogan, like women, like if they heard us say that, they'd be like, these idiots, like they suck off Joe Rogan, like they love him. But he's genuinely like, basically a genius from all the people he's talked to. Like he has all his knowledge from other sources that he basically like. He probably knows more on like different topics than anybody.
Than anyone, exactly, because he's had on so many just interesting people, and he's just a curious individual, and that's what it's almost. If you look back to Greek philosophers, right? Socrates was the originator of philosophy, right? In that he questioned everything. There was never a point when because that's how you break down, you start to understand and learn the world is by questioning everything. And he was executed by the Romans, by the people in Rome, the democracy there, because he got to a point where he started questioning authority, questioning the rulers, the kings. And so he was put to a trial, and the trial said that he should be executed because he was basically indoctrinating the youth. He was telling the youth to question everything. And Joe Rogan, a very curious individual, questions everything. And so I would agree. But on the other side, Elon Musk probably knows a little bit more on particular subjects, or not more on a variety of subjects, but knows more information on few subjects that I think would be more like, for instance, business is very kind of important, capitalism. And I don't think Rogan, he's more of a socialist than he is like a
You think
capitalist.
Elon's a better businessman than Joe Rogan?
Oh, 1,000 billion%. Really? I know he is. Yeah, look at how you judge business is money. How much money do you generate? Right? And he's one of the richest men in the world. Rogan's not even close. Rogan would be probably a better marketer than Elon.
Yeah.
But as far as business goes, the variety of sales, of products, of marketing, all of that, Elon is far superior. Far.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to, because like when you see like Elon, he's not very social, or he doesn't have like great communication skills because how smart he is. That's why I almost like, I don't know if I'd want Elon talking to him because it's like, if you ever watch Elon in conversation, he almost seems unintelligent by the way he speaks until you hear what he's saying, and then you're like, oh, that's actually genius. Like, but he doesn't seem very smart. So that's why, like, I've always like, maybe he's a genius, and he came up with these great ideas like Tesla and stuff, and like revolutionizing. But I didn't know if he was actually the businessman behind him blowing up, like, or if he had like business people that like kind of.
No. He's definitely, because when you're like founders of business, specifically, like other than like even Henry Ford, like that's what Elon was talking about in that podcast, is the fact that when you build, like it's easy to build one. The first prototype was very easy to build the Tesla Cybertruck, but to manufacture that on a wide scale and create a business behind it, that is very, very difficult. A lot of people can open a mom and pop shop, and you don't have to be very business orientated to do that. To make some cupcakes and open a store and sell it, very easy to do that. To then make nothing but cake and scale that over and create a franchise behind it, that is business. And that is what a lot of people cannot do, because the organization, the structure, the employment, the payroll, the risk, all of it involved in one thing. Rogan, he can open up a mom and pop shop, the podcast with him and Jamie, and go out and get people and do it like that, right? He just scales it because of internet. Elon has developed a business. Rogan hasn't developed a business. He, once again, he just has a mom and pop shop. He just got lucky with the internet, and that he was like one of the first people on it to then blow up to millions of people that he has.
Yeah, I also guess how I see it is like, I think since that thing blew up for Joe Rogan, like I also think it'd be more enjoyable to have his business than Elon's, like for living your life sakes. Like obviously Joe Rogan probably spends a lot more time with his family than Elon does.
Yeah.
But I almost think like whether because he had that, he doesn't care to start a big, even if he could.
Yeah.
Which like obviously I agree that obviously you can't argue Elon's not a better businessman because he's the biggest business in the world.
If you look at so when you come back to the question of who would you want talking to aliens, I'd probably actually say Rogan now that I've thought a little bit more.
I would too. That's
because the fact that a human would not be Elon.
Exactly. He's almost too smart to talk to him.
Exactly. Rogan is more of a human in that sense, where he thinks he looks for good in people, where I think Elon is not that.
Like I don't think Elon has sympathy or empathy.
Empathy. Yeah. I think he has very, very little of that, and I think Rogan has a lot of that.
Which I'm pretty sure that's what
makes you
ADHD
human.
is not understanding like empathy, or like it's either ADHD or ADD, or like one of those.
Yeah.
Is like one of the main things is, have you ever realized like some of those kids who have that, like people go up and they're just like rude, like they don't realize they're being rude, but like they're just like reading a book and you'll say something, they're just like like don't pay any attention to you, like they're hyper focused, but also like they don't think that they're gonna like how you're gonna feel when they do that. Like they just don't think about it.
ADHD is attention deficit disorder.
Yeah, I know one of them is like really big of you don't understand empathy.
Oh no, ADD is attention deficit disorder. So ADHD is hyper.
Yeah.
Attention, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but that's what, and I'm pretty sure Elon said, like, I'm pretty sure he's like partially has something. I don't know what it is, but he partially has something.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, and speaking of like intelligence, and as far as intelligence goes, you saw there's a study, right, that just came out that had honestly been blowing up the internet. You told me about it earlier, but I saw it on the plane. What was it? What did it say?
Oh, again? It says people that obsess over celebrities are less intelligent.
Oh, yeah. And so here we are obsessing over celebrities.
Yeah. Well, but like you can say we're obsessing over them, but we're just like we're talking. We don't.
It's a topic of conversation for this podcast.
Like, yeah, it's not like I follow Joe Rogan on all socials and like go to all the shows and like freak out about it. I'm like,
where there you look at like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, like,
or the Swifties.
Yeah.
Like unfortunately how intelligent are those people? How intelligent? Like really and truly, I mean, we may have a lot of Swifties in here. We never know, but I mean, look at it. You try to use some critical thinking skills and see like, is this life of Taylor Swift? Are you allowing it to affect your life right now? Like if she died, would that cause harm to you? Right? That's another thing like the royal family. Royal family is a big thing where a lot of people devote their lives to the royal family. And then when like Princess Diana died, it was like devastation. It's like, what do they do? What does the royal family do nowadays? Like back in the 1500s, 1400s, there's, your president dies. Like he had a system, operation of the government. Like, the king died. He organized stuff. That makes sense. Nowadays, royal families don't even do anything.
Which on those though, like the dying thing, I can see how like I don't think you're sad because it's just like a sad thing. Like for like when Kobe died, like you could say like, oh, if that ruined your day, then you're obsessing over celebrity. Like it didn't ruin my day, but I was like, damn, that's kind of sad. Like
I mean, it makes you put in perspective.
So like the dying thing is like sort of because I mean like I think that's part of just like the empathy thing of realizing that what his family is going through too is not because he's a celebrity, but it's just because you actually see his story. Like when a normal person dies in a crowd, you don't hear about it. Yeah. So like when celebrity, you hear about it. But I think it's like whenever if Taylor Swift broke up with Travis Kelce and then you're crying in your bedroom, that's when it's an issue.
That's an issue.
Yeah,
that's an issue.
Which I think a lot of people would do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that also brings to light like all of this stuff that you can't control, whether you see it on media, social media, television, whatever it may be. And with Travis Kelce, for instance, a lot of people put their emotions into sports. Right. And so that kind of ties in as well where, celebrities, like you're probably less intelligent if you're celebrities, but then you look at the men's side and a lot of men don't really give a shit about Taylor Swift or give a shit about the royal family. Right. Mostly that's women. Kim Kardashian has a ton of followers of women. Even like Justin Bieber got a ton of women followers. Celebrities typically are females attract to celebrities, whereas males attract to sports. Right. You're talking whether it's football, whether it's soccer, whether it's baseball, whatever it may be, right, where their emotions are then tied into sports, right? And so with that, because with sports, that's an accomplishment, right? Men focus on missions and accomplishments. Women typically focus on attention, right? So celebrities get more attention. Women want to be that celebrity. And so then they put their emotions in that celebrity because then that's what gives them feeling. So when she's winning, then I'm winning, right? Whereas men are like mission-driven, and they're like, when my team's winning, then I'm winning. Right. And so they connect it like video games where when I win in a video game, then I feel good. Right. That's why men are addicted to video games. Women are addicted to social media because when I get more likes on social media, I win. Right. So women have that attraction to social media. And so women, as to that study, is typically going to be on scales of intelligence level. But then you look at a men's side, and I would like to see a study on men that follow sports in the sports team and are devoted to the sports. How is their attention level or intelligent levels?
I'm sure there already has been one. And it's like one of those things that, like, all the comments on that post where it said people who obsess over celebrities are less intelligent. Like, the comments were like, oh, you don't say. Like, kind of like, yeah, go figure. Like, it's obvious. I think that's kind of one of the sports, too. Like, I watch sports games and I care, but it's because I'm betting. Honestly, the only reason I watch is because it's fantasy football. And, I have money on the line and I want to beat my friends. So it's like, it's not even like whether a team wins or not, but I'm still like, I'm not saying this is better, but I'm saying I fall into the trap too of like, I'm rooting for a team because I want the win over my friend.
Exactly.
Even though it has nothing to do with what me or him do, which I guess you could say you drafted, but like, it has nothing to do with it. So like even I fall into like, because I like, oh, I want to win. I want to be my friend. So then I'm like watching this football game. Like I told you earlier, like, I try to get all my work done on Saturdays. So on Sundays I can watch the games. Yeah. So I'm like changing my schedule for these games.
Dude,
so,
I'm telling you, and it is a trap because it's so addictive and it gets you, it's the psychology of these things have been tried and true for thousands and thousands of years. Even like, for instance, they were talking, Elon on the podcast was talking about his fight versus Zuck was going to be held in the Coliseum. Okay, and that's kind of off topic a little bit. It didn't end up happening. He was supposed to fight, whatever. That Colosseum was built thousands and thousands of years ago when Rome was a flourishing country, right? But during this time when they built that Colosseum, one of the reasons why they built that is to bring people to one area, to have them focus on, and typically men, right, focus on an objective, a mission, a challenge, something like that, right? And what that did is that pulled the minds of men from the real problems and the root of the fall of Rome and instead distracted them, right? And you see this nowadays with stadiums being filled every Saturday with college football, with beer drinking, with drugs, with alcohol, all this stuff. See that on Saturday, and sure enough, comes back on Sunday. And sure enough, it's Thursday night football. By God, we got to fill another stadium. We got to have thousands and millions of eyes on the TV screen, when in reality, there's problems going on in our world. There's a lot of things going on that we are distracting ourselves with all of this entertainment, drugs, alcohol, whatever it may be. You look into that and you're like, well, Rome eventually fell, right? And is this the domino effect of our country falling, right? Is it or is it not? Or, is this just comes with it, right? Is it inevitable? Is that going to happen? And then is it better to instead go distract yourself and live a life of, of cheap fun where you go out and you drink with your friends, you go out, like that is a lot of fun. It is. Like, don't get me wrong. Like you said, do you fall in the trap? I do too. I'm like, we'll go have a little fun here and there, right? And is that like pushing, like Elon Musk, I don't think would do that. Joe Rogan, how many, like, I guess he watches UFC, but that's because he commentates on it. Like, how many football games does he watch?
I think Joe Rogan, like, I honestly say, like, he would say to watch the game. 'Cause I know you don't like the word balance, but it's the best word to use. Like, I think you do have to have some stuff that you look forward to, like enjoying, which, like, we've talked about, it's the delayed gratification stuff. Yeah. So, like, you can say, I'm not going to watch this game, I'm going to work. That way I have, in 10 years, to look forward to. So, like, for Joe Rogan, it is different. He does have more of a right to watch these things than we do. Because
he's earned it.
He's earned it.
He's earned it, exactly.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just kind of anything of, like, too much of anything will hurt you. So, I mean, if you watch the game on Sunday with your friends, ask you to go to sit down at a restaurant and watch the game, it's not going to kill you. But, correct. I mean, if you do it every Saturday and Sunday and then Monday night and then Thursday night, then you're going to be wasting a lot of time.
You're wasting a lot of time when you could be getting a lot more stuff done. And so we're not to say that, like, devote your life, because there's two spectrums, and I'm a very extreme person. And you could go complete drugs, alcohol, fun, live your life, cheap gratification, or short-term gratification, or you can go monk mode and completely be a monk for all your life and go sit on the top of a hill and meditate for the rest of your life, right? There's those two extremes.
You know they got a TV back in the back room to watch the football games on.
I don't know. But there's extremes, right? And so in between those, I think there's a fine line. I honestly am more towards this monk side, and I continue to see myself moving more and more there. I'm cutting out all the stuff where I'm eventually, like, if you extrapolate this over 100 years, I'm going to get to this point where I'm going to be 150 years old just meditating on in the Swiss Alps or something. Like, it'll take time, but I unfortunately had started and I went over here and I'm pursuing up to this other point. But let us know what you guys think. Is that going to be something? Where do you fall in the spectrum? I mean, are you more along this side or are you more along this side? We're curious to see kind of where our audience sits. But once again, we're here every Monday and Friday, guys. Continue breathing you information that hopefully you're curious about, you want to hear about, whatever it may be.
Hey, the game started 7 minutes ago, so if we could wrap it up.
Yeah. All right, to get you back to the game. So appreciate it, guys. Thank you for watching, joining, viewing. Catch you in the next one. Peace.